Hello, my name's Amanda and welcome to another one of my quilt block tutorials. In today's video I will be showing you how to make this. This is a foundation paper piece Union Jack block. Now before I go any further with this block tutorial, I just want to let you know that this block is heavily constructed using the foundation paper piece method. So if you're not familiar with this one and you're a beginner to it, check out the video that is on the screen right now. There's also a link down below. It's a video that I made last year all about the basics to foundation paper piecing, and hopefully it will help you to understand a few of the steps in this video. So over the last couple of months I've had numerous requests to make this block and I am so excited to be able to present it to you. Now unfortunately the pattern to this block is not mine. I got it from this book. It is called Modern Blocks and it's got a whole bunch of modern quilters in there sharing modern blocks. And the pattern I used is this one. It is called Just Jack and it was designed by Lynn Goldsworthy. So the way that I make this block is a little bit different to the way that it's made in here. I just focus on the Union Jack block. I don't actually do the little sections at the top and the bottom. So here is the way that I prepare this block. So the way that I make this block is I print out the Union Jack pattern at the back. In the book it says to enlarge it at about 200%, but I find enlarging it at 165% is perfect to fit on an A4 piece of paper. And so this is the size pattern that I am left with. When you print it out yourself, you'll find that there are 5 different sections to this pattern and you make them up individually and then sew them all together. So you just need to simply cut out each piece using paper scissors and then with a ruler and a tracing wheel make little holes along each of the lines on the pattern to help you rip away the paper at the end. And before I start cutting up all the fabric pieces that I need, I just simply colour in an extra design with all the right colour placements just so I know what I need to cut and how much of it I need to cut as well. For the blue sections, roughly cut out 4 rectangular shapes that are bigger than the pattern pieces. For the white parts, roughly cut 4 1-inch strips that are longer than the paper pattern. Do this for each of the 4 sections. And then do the same with the red fabric so that you end up with 1 blue rectangle, 4 white and 1 or 2 red strips with each paper pattern section. To cut the center strip with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, lay the section piece onto the red fabric. Line up the 1/4 inch lines on your ruler alongside the edge of the paper and then cut the shape out, leaving you with a piece that looks a little like this. And then I like to organize and lay out all of my pieces in this way. And then like this when I'm piecing together one section. So to begin piecing, dab a small amount of glue to the back of section 1. And then position the paper in the lower right hand corner of the blue fabric, ensuring there is at least a 1/4 inch of fabric around the edges. Fold down the line between sections 1 and 2. Place a ruler on top, aligning up its 1/4 inch seam line along the folded edge, and then cut off the excess fabric. Place this piece to one side to be used for section 5. Lay out one of the white strips, placing the paper section on top. Line up the fabric edges, ensuring there is at least a 1/4 inch of fabric at each end, and then carefully pin all 3 layers together. At the sewing machine, sew on top of the line that separates sections 1 and 2. Turn the pattern over and firmly press the section open using either a finger presser or iron. Flip the pattern back over again and fold down the line separating sections 2 and 3. Then using a ruler and blade, trim the edge down to a 1/4 inch. Lay out one of the red strips and align the 2 edges in the same way as before, and then pin the pieces together. Sew on top of the line that separates sections 2 and 3. Press the section open on the back, and then repeat the same steps to add on the next white strip. When you come to section 5, take the other half of the blue rectangle and flip it over. Align the edges and pin them in place like usual. Sew on top of the line separating section 5 from section 7, and then firmly press it open. Carry on in the same way to complete sections 6, 7 and 8. Once all sections have been completed, flip the pattern piece over. Align the 1/4 inch lines on your ruler along the edge of the paper, and then cut a 1/4 inch seam allowance along each side. And that is one section of your Union Jack block completed. And then follow the same set of steps to make each of the other sections of this block. Lay out 2 opposite sections. Fold down the top paper piece on the large section and then flip the other side on top. Square up the edges and then pin them together. At the sewing machine, sew a 1/4 inch line down the pinned edge. This seam should just miss the paper that is still on the back of each section. Open out the sewn sections and firmly press the seams so that they are facing inwards towards the red middle section. And then proceed to do the same thing with the other 2 sections that make up the block. Next, take the red center strip and lay it on top of one of the section's center edge. Pin it in place and then sew a 1/4 inch seam down this edge, ensuring any seams underneath are lying flat in the right direction before sewing over them. Press the seam firmly open and then flip over the other side of the block. Line up the center seams so that the lines are running straight with each other and then pin in place. Sew one last 1/4 inch seam down this edge, being aware of any seams that need to be sewn flat, and then firmly press open the seam. Flip the block over and carefully rip the paper away from the fabric, worrying not too much about small pieces of paper getting stuck under the thread. Give the block a good firm press with a medium to hot steamy iron. And then trim off any uneven edges using a ruler and blade. The final size of the block will all depend on the size the pattern was enlarged and printed out at. For reference, mine measures 26.5 by 17.5 centimeters. So if you are keen to make this block yourself, there is a link down below to this book, as well as a few other Union Jack patterns that I've been able to find on the net that you might find easier to source or buy. I do apologise that this pattern isn't as easily available to you as the patterns that I usually make. I am not that clever yet at making paper piece patterns at this kind of level, so I'm just being honest with the way that I source this pattern, and hopefully you enjoy making it when you are able to get your hands on the pattern. And I've also linked a post below to a quilt that I made on my blog featuring the Union Jack block. So you are more than welcome to go check that out if you're looking for some inspiration. So if you are new to my channel and would like to see more of the things that I do here, don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you come and join us. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you another time very, very soon. Bye!